basically I was sent out to look at a plate of bananas which have been popping up in a street in Beeston. Obviously it's quite an interesting story, it's quite unusual, it's definitely not something that's every day, and it's by far probably the quirkiest, weirdest story I've ever been sent out on.
So my name is Claire Short. I live in Beeston, nearby, and for the last year at least I've noticed that regularly bananas with about 16 or 20 peeled bananas are lined up on a newly bought plate, and I've just noticed, turning this over, that there's a £5 note on the bottom. That's new.
We posted it on Monday morning amidst a lot of flooding and a lot of kind of quite bad weather, local weather, which was the main story really for that day and actually lingered on for a few days. And this bananas, we were a bit worried that it might get kind of sidetracked. Often, you know, stories do get sidetracked if you've got a really big lead, particularly that we weren't really expecting, you know, with flooding, and you know, you never quite know, you know, how it's going to go.
I don't know what this is about. I volunteer as a Nottingham Clean Champion street volunteer, and so I kept noticing these plates and this mush of bananas, and so I thought, this is weird. I started cleaning up the plates. Then I thought I need to just document how often this is happening. So I started writing down the date in November, and it's always appears early in the morning on the 2nd of each month. So whoever's placing the bananas places them perhaps overnight on the 1st, but definitely first thing in the morning, because I go by on my way to the train to work. There's the plate of bananas on the 2nd of every month. So I've asked around in the local community, no one can tell me anything. Some people think it's a ritual, some people think it's just a thing, no one really knows. So I thought, well, instead of moaning about this, maybe I can do something about it, because the school children walk by here to go to school, and I'd like to keep the streets tidy.
I mean, it's on the BBC, it's been on Radio 1, Radio 2, Radio 4, Radio 6 Music. It's been on loads of local stations. It was offered as a CNS package, so like a central package that comes from the BBC to local news. They need to fill a slot, and it was used, I think, about 4 or 5 times there. Obviously, our own coverage, Radio Nottingham, I did a package for breakfast. They kind of did a talkie around it, I believe, and just kind of kind of wanted to know. No one has an answer, but it's just keeping it going.
So I just wrote this sign because I thought I don't want to hurt anybody. It might be something that means a lot to them. I just put, please respectfully, no more bananas, ! The uncollected plates and rotting bananas leave such a mess. Wishing a happy new year to you all from a Nottingham Clean Champion street cleaner volunteer. Not to blow my own trumpet, but just to say why I'm doing it is because I'm trying to keep the streets tidy. So I woke up this morning and I came up to the corner, and there was a plate of bananas peeled on a clean new white plate. This time the new thing is that there's a £5 note underneath.
You've got no idea why the bananas are here?
I absolutely have no idea. There's just this £5 note.
And I think often with a story like this, I was in the car preparing to go back, and I texted my editor and I said, not going really well, I'm going to stick it out for a bit longer, but just want to keep you aware. And then it did actually end up happening. So it shows not only that stories can travel, but it's really important to like persevere and not give up. And if you absolutely, really, really think there's a story in it, it's worth sticking around.
I'd love to know who's doing this. I'm just curious, and obviously keep Nottingham tidy.
Claire's not alone in wondering what's behind the bananas. These residents are also wondering where they're coming from.
So strange and disgusting. Yeah, something, just put it there. I'm not sure. Yeah. Of course I don't like it.
I don't know, just waste of food, waste of resources, and just making it smelly and disgusting, isn't it?
It's not pleasant. Yes, I've never really thought about it, but I don't know what it's for.
I mean, the bananas they're putting out, they're obviously just going to attract rats. But let's hope something happens. It's gross.
I live nearby and they are quite regular here. They're very annoying.
For now, there's no explanation as to why these bananas are actually there. And perhaps next month, another plate will arrive on the 2nd of February. I think in journalism, you're taught to have an answer. That's what your job is as a journalist. You should have an answer. You're breaking down an answer for people. But actually for this, I think because there's no answer, that makes it even better. And I think if we do find out, it works because we've had the whole, not knowing an answer first. But if we'd actually had that kind of beginning, middle and end the whole way through, I think it maybe wouldn't have been quite so good. I think the whole point of this is it gets people talking, and particularly for radio, and the radio coverage has been the kind of most coverage it's had. I think that just does really well on air, because you're always thinking, what is that? You know, what does that mean?